It's a great way to get some exercise and enjoy the outdoors. But cycling can also be an economical and reliable source of transportation. More and more people are choosing cycling as a way to get where they need to go.
About 15 years ago, I decided to start commuting to work by bicycle. So I scouted out a good route to do that there wasn't a lot of traffic. And I started trying it, and it just was really great. By the time I got to work on the bike, I was awake. It was better than drinking coffee. And then by the time I got home, the office was well behind, and it just was a terrific thing to build into my day.
With more bicyclists on the road, safety has become an important focus for cyclists and motorists alike. Before you decide to hit the road, make sure you're familiar with your bicycle and the rules of the road.
The first thing that you want to do when you're going to take a bike trip is you want to check your bicycle to make sure that it's in good working order. The last thing you want to happen is get halfway through your journey and have something mechanically go wrong on your bicycle while you're out and about. So the first thing you want to check is your air and your tires. Check to make sure that the pressure is correct. You can find out which pressure you want to use by checking the sidewall of your tire. It will tell you the PSI. You want to make sure that you air it up to that point. You also want to make sure that your tires are in good condition. Check the sidewalls, make sure there's no dry rot or any obvious damage. The next thing that you want to check are your brakes. You can do that by checking the brake handles, make sure that they engage on each wheel, the front and the back. And the next thing you want to check is your chain. Make sure that it is clean, clear of any debris, and well lubricated. You can do that by picking the back of the bicycle up and spinning the pedals, and that will allow the chain to cycle through, and then you should be ready to go.
Making sure your bicycle is in good working order is only part of the equation. As a cyclist on our roadways, you have the same rights and responsibilities as drivers. Hand signals and following the law helps drivers anticipate your actions and keeps you safer.
Anytime you're going to bicycle on a roadway where there's motor vehicle traffic present, you want to stay to the far right-hand side. While you're on the roadways, you're subject to the same traffic laws that the drivers are. Red lights, stop signs, signs like that, you must obey them. You also need to communicate with the other motorists what your intentions are by using the hand signals that indicate what your next move is going to be.
Cycling in traffic can get tricky. Remember that you follow the same rules and laws as motorists do. This includes riding in the same direction as traffic, following the same procedures as cars when making turns, passing, and in intersections.
Most of the incidents that we have involving bicyclists are at intersections, and a lot of them involve the vehicles making right-hand turns while the bicyclist is entering in the intersection on their right-hand side. So as you approach an intersection, you want to make sure that any vehicle traffic that is next to you or behind you knows that you're going to go straight. You can do that by taking a quick glance over your left shoulder to make sure that that car is not signaling a right-hand turn.
Riding at night has its own safety concerns. Additional equipment and clothing may be necessary to keep you visible.
If you're going to participate in a night ride, you want to make sure that you have adequate lighting on the front and the rear of your bicycle. On the front, you want to make sure that you have a white light that's visible at least 500 feet in front of you. On the rear of your bicycle, you want to make sure that you have a red light that is visible up to 500 feet behind you. Anytime that you're on a bicycle ride, you want to make sure that you wear clothing that is visible to other motorists and other bicycles. That's especially important at night when it's harder for motorists to see you at a greater distance. So we recommend that you wear clothing that's bright, and it also incorporates high visibility colors and reflective striping.
Cars aren't the only things you need to watch for as a cyclist. Road hazards can come up unexpectedly and need quick reactions.
Whenever you're on the roadway, you want to travel at a speed that allows you to react to any potential hazards. Those hazards could include potholes, debris, parked cars where the driver's side door may open in front of your path. So you want to make sure that you're traveling at a speed that you can react to those. And you also want to keep a safe distance between you and the rider in front of you so you have a clear line of sight to identify any of those potential hazards.
When there's potholes and gravel on the road, that it can be difficult to go around them. Particularly cars can go right over those things, and I can't. I have to swerve around a hole. So I need to make sure that the cars behind me know that I'm going to swerve if I see a pothole in the road.
Now that you know the rules of the road, there are a lot of places that are designated for biking. Bike routes are areas where cars and cyclists share the road. Many have signs showing the direction and distance to major destinations within the community. Bike routes are usually on streets that do not have designated bike lanes, but serve as a safe, direct connection between destinations. Marked shared lanes are also where cyclists and cars share the road, but are usually on streets with moderate traffic. Special pavement markings, called sharrows, guide cyclists away from parked cars or near the center of narrow lanes. Markings and signs also encourage cars to share the lane with bicyclists. Bike lanes are designated space on each side of the street reserved for bicycle use only. Special pavement markings and signs identify these lanes. Multi-use paths are paved paths separated from the road. These paths are for cyclists, walkers, and runners.
Each day on my bicycle, I ride right at 13 miles to work and 13 miles home, so 26 miles round trip. Every year I ride right around 3,000 commuting miles every year, and I've gotten that many, about 3,000 miles every year for the past 10 years.
These rules of the road will prepare you for a safe and fun bike commute, no matter where you're riding. To stay safe, keep a few things in mind while cycling. Make checking your bike for safety a habit. Making sure your bicycle is in good working order can save you from serious injury, and always remember to wear a helmet.
One of the most important pieces of equipment when you are on a bicycle trip is your helmet. You want to make sure that you buy one that is approved for use on the roadway. You can buy quality helmets at any local retailers or bicycle shops. When you have your helmet on, you want to make sure that it sits level on your head, providing protection to your forehead and to your face. You want to avoid wearing it on the back of your head like this, because this exposes your forehead and your face and increases the odds of injury in the event of a fall.
Follow the law. Cyclists have the same rights and duties as drivers. Obey traffic signals and stop signs. Ride with traffic and use the rightmost lane headed in the direction you are going. Be predictable. Make your intentions clear to motorists and other road users. Ride in a straight line and don't make unnecessary swerves. Use hand signals when making turns and check behind you for motorists well before turning or changing lanes. Ride where drivers can see you. Wear bright clothing and use a front white light and red rear light and reflectors at night. Make eye contact with drivers and don't ride on sidewalks. Think ahead. Anticipate what drivers, pedestrians, and other bicyclists will do next. Watch for turning vehicles and ride outside the door zone of parked cars. Look out for debris, potholes, and other road hazards. These tips will assure you arrive at your destination safely. Enjoy the ride!